Question 4. Why the sadhaka or spiritual aspirant starts sometimes recitation of mantra automatically when the light tends to strike the apex center or Sahasrara chakra, but unable to cross and merge with the supernal? Answer. This experience an advanced spiritual aspirant goes through very frequently, even after having mergence experience of several times. It is quite unusual but happens, and the cause of this, a spiritual aspirant does not know. When light ascends up to apex center, but unable to strike apex center, spiritual aspirant starts automatically praying mentally to Almighty for his assistance or grace or help. Sometimes he succeeds to strike the apex center and finally gets mergence with the supernal. But most of the time spiritual aspirant ends his meditation with mantra japa or recitation that happens automatically, and finally life force or light descends back to the lower chakras and mind of the aspirant returns back to the horizontal plane without getting the grace of the mergence. Spiritual aspirant feels mentally unhappy for his failure, but he again puts his efforts for the next sitting and accepts this as the wish of the Almighty. Basically, the reasons for this particular hindrance for ascendance of life force or light to the supernal are not very complex, but the connections of deep-rooted issues of the horizontal plane are very closely involved. When spiritual aspirant during meditation ascends subtle energies, which are not completely integrated in unison from Agya Chakra to Chida Akasha, these energies do not comprehend the integral force and get disintegrated as it ascends. The subtle energy must be integrated light consisting of life force, in which mental energy, soul vibrations, consciousness, awareness, etc., and all types of energies are completely composed in a bindu or dot or point. This subtle energy point or dot must be completely cohesive, integrated, and shall be like a light beam edge. But, at time, it does not happen, although for a spiritual aspirant who practices regularly, however it should happen. This happens primarily due to the various issues of the horizontal plane, which remain unresolved in the mind, and mind revolves around these issues, and not able to come out of these deep-rooted issues even in meditation. Part of the mental energy remains entangled with these issues, although the mind tends to dissolve in soul at the Agya Chakra, but in a subtle way entangled energy remains precipitated as the separate identity as the light ascends. Since the light dot is not completely composed and cohesive, so before reaching to the Unmani Chakra and or striking Sahasrara, the light gets spilt with the slightest impact in its original constituents, and mind, soul, awareness, consciousness, prana and other negative mental horizontal energies get precipitated as an individual identity. This being the zone of higher throbbing, the divine Nara in the form of mantra gets started mentally automatically by the spiritual aspirant at the highest plane under the effect of spilt light energy. Sometimes under the effect of mantra power, or by the prayer of the aspirant, all these spilt subtle energies get integrated and become as a cohesive light edge by the magnetic impact of the mantra vibrations. And thus the light follows the original path of striking the apex center and mergence with the supernal. But, if the integration of the spilt energies does not take place with the continuous repetition of mantra, various thoughts start attacking the mind. Mind from dualistic pattern turns to the multidimensional pattern, and various deep thoughts of horizontal plane start pouring in the mind. And finally, spiritual aspirant leaves meditation under disgust, bows before Almighty as an unsatisfied creature, repents and blame or curse himself for his failure to mergence. Sometimes, he very well understands that he did not start the journey after having resolved all the mental issues, but all the same unsatisfaction prevails in his heart and mind till he accomplishes the further successful journey. At this junction, spiritual aspirant must understand the various causes of all such obstacles in the vertical path, and to overcome these obstacles, he must try to maintain vacuumed in his entire physical system by taking out, or by exhausting all the breath or air by force from his system like a snake. A snake becomes breathless number of times by hissing sound, as he takes out all the breath and stay in the breathless static state. A spiritual aspirant must follow this, and try to become breathless by taking out all the breath by number of times like a snake. Then only it may be possible, or it may be helpful to reach the integrated state of a point light edge to penetrate through the apex center, to take up the upward journey to sky or cosmos for mergence. It is only possible by the grace of Guru, Babaji, and by the blessings of the Almighty. All efforts of the aspirant are secondary. If the spiritual aspirant does not succeed by all his efforts as discussed above, he need not abandon or leave his efforts for the upward journey, but must continue in the next sitting, and accept such failures as a part of the stride for the spiritual evolution.